All right, beautiful evening to you, our dear Maritmatics family from everywhere. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us again tonight. And then we are so happy to be back. We took a break of a full month. And by the grace of God, we are back in December and we are back beautifully and then powerfully by the grace of God. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Coach Mide from Maritmatics, and I have one fine babe here who is looking, is it pinkish now? Or thereabout? Reddish. All right, sorry, ma'am.
It's Christmas time. So you're welcome back, dear viewers. We so appreciate the fact that you're joining us again. So thank you so much. This is Maritmatics Live, and I'm Coach D. Thank you.
And then, we want to appreciate everyone who are on the sexology page, the WhatsApp page, for the marriage. For the married. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you for enjoying yourself. Thank you for spreading the message. For those who have been able to check on our on our YouTube page, thank you very much. And then for those who have bought our book, their book, Maritmatics, The Secret of Great Sex, thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you and God bless your home. In Jesus' name.
Amen. So tonight we have a very great topic in front of us, as it were. In fact, for the whole of December, by the grace of God, we'll be looking at this. You and I know that this is the jackpot season, and beyond just that people are moving for several reasons, all this movement also have an effect on marriages. So we want, because that's one of our passions, we want to look at, okay, what's the effect, what can be done, what counsel can be gotten, and of course we're not going to be doing this alone this month by the grace of God. In subsequent shows, we'll be having some other people join us live, especially those who have gone that path before. But for today, we are going to start. We're going to share some thoughts with you, because the topic actually is your marriage in a foreign land. So we're going to look at, pros and cons. It's not a video to tell you whether to move or not to move. So we're just saying now that for people who want to move, for people who have already moved, what are those things? So those things they need to pay attention to as regarding their marriage. Of course, one thing is that people, sometimes there's this temptation or this tendency that the issue of their marriage comes to the back. Secondary, in fact, tertiary, comes to the very last. Because one thing on the mind of a lot of people moving is more opportunities. We want to escape poverty. We want a better life. So it's the issue of
more money.
Yeah, more money and all of that, better life for the kids and everything. The issue of the marriage itself, the marriage relationship, is kind of given that, of course, he's my husband, she's my wife. What do I need to consider again? We just have to do what we have to do. So the issue of the marriage is now, that thing that people have put to the back is what we want to bring to the front now and say, hey guys, your marriage is very, very important. You must give it the extra attention it needs as you are making that move, or as you plan to make that move, or as you have people that have made the move, or as you also have made the move. So it's something we want to confront ourselves with these few weeks, and we're trusting the Lord that will give us His wisdom. He's going to shed His light on us on this very topic.
And one of the key things we would like you to also please put in mind is that as you relocate, as you move, as you try to settle down, this phase of life, especially for your children, are very vital. They are very important for your kids, whether they are grown-ups, as it were, or whether they are still young people, or whether they are babies. It's a very important time, a very key time, because as you are making adjustments, the children are also going to be making adjustments. And the truth is, in a strange land, you are the only figure that they see. You are the only stability that they have, especially when they begin to get faced with a lot of different things that they are not
Cultural
used
shocks.
to. A lot of cultural shocks, a lot of adjustment that they need to make. Now, while of course your spouse also will adjust, your spouse will be able to, but these children are very, very key at this point in time. That is why you cannot just take it like, okay, it's going to work out. No, you have to be there for your children. So this phase of time is so vital, so important. A lot of people have missed it at this point in time, and then suddenly all the values that they have taught their children while they were back here in Nigeria, all the values, all the beautiful things, suddenly these kids are trying to find it. Why? Because the parents are literally not on ground at that point in time. So we want to plead with you that if not for anything, of course, for the lives of your children, this move that you have made or that you are about to make are very, very vital. You need to sit down and be intentional about your home, especially in the foreign land that you are going to. And apart from that, it's also a very good phase that can be a turning point for you and your spouse. You have been used to a lot of things you find around here. One of the beautiful things about us, about Nigeria, is the fact that you have families, you have people that are watching your back, you have people that are going to be there for you, literally. And then over there, you find yourself, probably you are the only black person or Nigerian person in quite a large distance. Now, that means you need to be able to get each other very well and adjust properly to be able to make this move a very decisive and a very good one for the two of you, or for the three or four of you as a family, as it can be. So this topic is very vital, this topic is very important, and we would like you to just work with us. By the grace of God, like Coach T said, we are going to bring in some people who are out there, and then they are going to address some fears, some basic issues, and how some of them have been able to adjust, in those strange lands. So, congratulations again for being where you are. The Lord bless you and bless your home.
So, what came to me, Coach Mide, is that when I looked at it, that this thing is not really strange, as it were. I looked at the book of Genesis chapter 20, where Abraham, left with his wife. They went to a strange land, a foreign land, as it were. And that move, there were some dramas that happened there that almost affected their marriage too. When the king saw the fine girl, and they've already planned that, tell him that you are my sister, and all the dramas that happened, that if not for the intervention of God, there could have been their marriage would have really been affected. So what I'm saying is that even in scriptures, we are seeing this example that movements such as the one you've made, or the one you plan to make, or the one that your people have made, is something that has an impact in on your marriage. Don't ever think that what's there we're just going for don't let the economic thing, reason alone, be your focus. What we are saying tonight is that it has an effect on your marriage, and you need, like Coach has said, be intentional about how you're going to walk out through this phase so that you will settle down properly. So today we're going to just highlight some things that we just feel that you should look into, you should be aware of, that this movement, this relocation, these are some of the things that you get faced with. You face them, the realities, as it were. After all the the joy, as it were, that we are out and all of that, the honeymoon phase of your relocation, that as you calm down and you start adjusting to the fact that, okay, you are not here for holidays, you are actually here to start living. So these are some of the things. Firstly, because we are spiritual people by the grace of God, we are Christians. There is a way that you need to know that the spiritual, let's say spiritual atmosphere, or the way people carry on spiritually, or the way of worship, the mode of worship, the times and all of that, might actually be different from what you are used to. Might actually be different from what you are used to. So these are some of the things. And if you have been used to, maybe your marriage was built on on going to church 24/7 kind of a thing, and you are in a place whereby you can't really be going to church that much, in quotes, maybe because you have to work different jobs, you have to start work and all of that. So how are you going to adjust to this spiritually? How are you going to fortify yourself? This is a phase in which we will know whether really with the level of our Christianity, because sometimes in our climb here, even some of our prayer points they are just symptoms of the fact that we don't have a good environment in a way. That some of the prayer points people raise are not in some other climbs, they are not prayer points. They are just given. So these are some of, so is our relationship with God now, is it built just on our needs? So when we get to somewhere where those needs in quotes are being met, are available, so what do we need God for? You might need to start asking yourself a question right now that, okay, what's the basis of my relationship with God? Is it just on what to receive from Him? What to receive from Him?
Almost like what we are saying now is almost like about 60 to 70% of your prayer point becomes literally useless.
Yeah.
And then you now have to begin to look at what exactly are you
What's
going
the basis?
to be praying for?
Why should I pray? That's why, because normally the basis of prayer, it shouldn't just be our needs. So we need to start looking at that.
So that means stepping out there now sometimes can be an eye-opener for a lot of people, especially about their spiritual lives.
Yeah, their state spiritually. Yes. And unfortunately, a lot of people also tend to backslide. Yes, let me just put it as it is. They tend to backslide because, number one, there is pressure. We'll still get to some other pressures too. There's pressure of trying to make it. I mean, you are not here to to count the tall buildings. You are here to make it. To work. So people run different jobs to pay bills and all of that. And so the issue of their spirituality, and then you are in an environment whereby, in our place, in a lot of Nigerian offices, let me say it, even in corporate offices, they will still do morning devotion. As they start the day's work, you'll be shocked. I'm sure that will not be the case. How will you be in such a place and you say we want to do morning devotion? So, we are a bit more, we say religious people, or kind of. So somehow being religious is acceptable. You can even tell your boss that we have revival in our church by 5. Please, can I close by can I close by 4? You find places whereby they will say, no problem, because everybody is religious, but you can't try such things.
In some places,
in this Western world, my people, you can't try such things. It's your private arrangement if you are religious or not. So it's not something that you might it's really out there in the open. And so all of these things just make people want to why do I need God? They just, backsliding is not sudden. Just starts going cold.
Declining.
That's the word. Start declining, and then before you know it, even the children you won't have anything to hand over to them again if you're not careful, because they too, they start getting the vibes that is there God? Who's God? What's that? And you also, if you are not on fire now, it might not be a palatable thing. So spiritually, it's something you must be fortified. You must know the Lord that you're serving beyond just meeting your needs, because in fact this relocation for a lot of people is prayer answered.
Yes.
So will you now say because God answered the prayers now, is now going to take you away from Him? That kind of thing. So something our marriages must be built on Jesus. So when we pray, even when we pray as couples, it shouldn't just be on our needs alone. Because now, if we now get to that place and we don't have so much of those mundane needs, so what are we going to pray about as a couple? What are we going to pray and trust God for?
That's why the key thing is that we may know Him.
Yeah.
To just know Him, to continue to know Him, whether in abundance, whether in this,
Yeah.
to just continue. So,
Yeah.
for anyone who has, if you have that kind of an outlook to life, to spiritual life, you are not going to have an issue when you relocate there, because your spiritual life will just continue to skyrocket and continue.
In fact, it will get better
It
because
should get better.
because you are more, maybe some of the pressures you are exposed to.
It should get better.
You know, you have a more comfortable.
It should get
so
better.
it should get better. You're thinking. For our people maybe living in Lagos, you won't have you won't have the kind of traffic you have there most places, you know, in the world. So it should be a plus when you have a very good foundation. So now, if you are contemplating relocating for your marriage, please, you need to get God and hold Him tightly. Hold Him tightly. Love Him. Let the Lord reveal Himself to you, so that beyond I need this, I need that, you know God. Beyond
continue
Him,
to enjoy.
yeah. Beyond Him being a Father Christmas, you know Him as a Father. You know, yeah.
Another thing I would like to quickly remind you is let me talk about finances a bit now. Now, many people relocating usually have these challenges of raising money, selling a lot of things, borrowing money, going there on loan, and then even while you are trying to settle down, anybody who is in Nigeria here, you know, typically believes that immediately you get there, of course there is money on the ground everywhere. You know, one day my brother was just joking and said that's the way people think, that they just pick money from the floor. It doesn't happen that way. A lot of people will have to work for money, and then so these pressures are likely going to be one of the first things that want to bring in some level of stress to your home. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. A lot of people, even now, for people who are in Nigeria, when the finances are not right, you see people who look frustrated. Husband and wife, you know, there is this frustration, there is this tension, any little thing spark, any little thing fight, you know, because of the
financial pressures.
Financial pressures are just there. So for a lot of people, a lot of couples who are traveling out there, sometimes the pressures are there to quickly begin to pay back whatever loan you have taken. Also, the pressures are there to be able to deliver very fast and also meet the expectations of people right back home, while you also have the pressures to be able to provide for your family, you know, that is over there while you are trying to settle down. So a lot of time, it has created a lot of tensions, a lot of pressures for many people. And we want to plead with you that take your time. Please, as a family, take your time. You don't need to work with the timing of people. Now, even if you took a loan from here, take your time. Let the loan be spread so much that it will not be difficult for you to be able to meet them, you know, easily without any stress on yourself while you are trying to settle down. Please and please, take your time. And if it is possible, plead with the people who are back home that they should give you some time to stabilize. That is very key. A lot of people will not understand, and then a lot of people find it difficult to be able to manage that, and that's why you cannot meet the expectations of everybody. You cannot provide for everybody. That is just the truth. You cannot, and the fact that you are not able to do for this, but you are able to do for that one, does not mean that you are a failure. You must be intentional about not putting financial pressures on your home. I can tell you for free that when you get there and then you put this financial pressure on your home, it's going to lead to frustration, it's going to lead to some level of anger. And in a strange land whose culture is different from where you are coming from, being able to handle that may cause a lot of storms. And I'm telling you, some families have not been able to get it right, and up till now they are not getting it right. So please and please agree with your spouse. Every loan must be the priority to be paid back, but spread over a considerable and comfortable period of time. And then for some key people in the family that you can't say no to, give them some months, like a moratorium period, and then after that, you can begin to send one or two things. For every other person, please let them understand that you need to be able to run your things, settle down, and then you can be a blessing to them. And then please, more importantly, I plead with you, instead of giving hands down or hand me down to people, if eventually you are going to help them, just set people up, set a system of set people up, and let it be a one-off thing, and then let them run with that. Another adjustment you're likely going to make is this in terms of finances. For those who have kids, in some of these countries over there, they pay you some certain amount of money, and this is where the catch is. They pay the money to the wife, and they pay it to the account of the wife to be able to take care of the children, especially for those who have very young children, and the government, of course, probably supports like that. Now, and many times this for money that is suddenly coming in to the woman, and then it's almost like for many people she will be earning more than the husband at that point in time. A lot of women have not been able to manage this very effectively. It has caused a lot of strains, a lot of stress, a lot of issues, a lot of frustrations, especially with women who just want to spend it the way they want to spend it, or with women who suddenly realize, oh, I have power, like that, and I can do whatever I want to do with the money without pulling it together and being able to work solutions around the whole thing. I want to plead with you, money will finish, but people will remain. So whatever comes into the house, whatever system you have been working while you are here, ensure or try, even if you are going to adjust in a team-like way, so that whatever comes in can be used by everybody without putting pressure on anyone at any particular point in time. And then provision can be made for the children, payment can be made for the loans you have taken, and then you guys can live comfortably and then be okay while you are trying to adjust and settle. I hope you got what I just said right. Thank you.
Okay, maybe in line with that also is now the issue of work, career and all of that, and how it might affect your marriage, or how you can walk around this. So someone was saying some times ago that can you remember that maybe it was just recently in a long time that some people, a particular family, were able to go out together as a family because their schedules were not just, tallying up. One will go for this one, the other has to stay, the shift and all of that. So they couldn't really spend quality time, maybe go out together as for a very, very long time. And because the way work is, the way everyone is trying to just hustle and to pay bills, to meet up, to do all of those stuff. So it's something you must watch. I know that sometimes because of the circumstances with which people leave Nigeria now, there's this pressure that they've got to just deliver on time. They've got to just make a lot of dollars, a lot of pounds sterling, a lot of everything. They need to just do it on time. And so some people even take on too much work. And of course, because there is work, it's not as if you are, for a lot of places, you can work menial jobs. I mean, different menial jobs together, maybe 2 or 3, and, to just earn as much as you can. So, and these jobs, what you are trading for those dollars is actually your time, your energy, your life. I've heard of someone that, the average time he sleeps, maybe he sleeps for 4 hours because now he works different kind of work, jobs all around. He sleeps maybe 4 hours a day, and then on Sundays he doesn't even go to church. He will just sleep. I think Sunday is the only free day that he had. He will just sleep all through. For how long can that really, be sustained? Is that a healthy kind of life? And then the truth is, it's not healthy for your marriage if you have that kind of tight schedule. So you need to understand that if at all you are under so much pressure to make some kind of money, to repay some kind of debt, you must know that this kind of schedule cannot last for a particular period of time. You can't let that be your lifestyle, or else or else apart from your marriage, your health also will suffer for it. So please, the work and the career, everything can't happen at once. It's precept upon precept, lines upon lines. So take it easy. Live. Yes, still make sure you're living. Because if you are not living, it means your marriage is at risk. So you cannot trade work. You cannot let your marriage be the sacrificial lamp that, we are here, or anything we have to do, if it is anything. No. Because at the end of the day, the work will finish. It will be married. Your home is very, very key. So this is something you must watch out for. You must watch out for that as you're trying to build a career. I mean, for a lot of people, they have to go back to some schools, do some sort of courses again, all of that, just to get a good place and all in their new environment. So you need to just consider all of this. Go at a particular pace. There's no need. Don't impress anybody. There's no competition. Go at your own pace. It will take you 5 years to actually blend in well and settle, so be it. If it took someone 1 year, so be it. Just make sure that at the end of those times, you don't lose your marriage. I'm telling you, it's a gift. You must protect your marriage. You must treasure it. You must not let it be the sacrificial lamp for that good life that good life you are running after. Don't sacrifice your marriage for it. Be very protective of your marriage in all of this.
And then the last one from me tonight is one of the first things you will need to adjust to will be a cultural adjustment. That is key. Sometimes ago, somebody was telling me that about his wife who when the kids are doing something, she will shout, and then the next thing she wants to beat the children. In fact, the way she beat them here, she continued over there. And the man was shouting, if they catch you, there will be trouble. Now, on a joking matter, actually, but the truth is, you will need to understand the culture of the place where you are, and then be able to, as much as possible, stay within the boundary of that law, the boundary of that culture. A lot of shocks you are going to have, but as much as possible, you need to understand them, stay within the ambit of the law, which is also, a part of the culture, as it were. Very key and very important. One of the key ones is children, the way you handle them, because any little thing, we have had cases of people that their kids have been taken away from them, or because they just discipline them the same way they discipline them in Nigeria. So whether you're going to coerce, plead, discuss, and then find your ways of, organizing discipline, for the kids, you need to be very, very wise about it. Another aspect which may likely shock you is that the issue of women being pushed, and encouraged to literally encourage, and maybe not partly encouraged in some instances, to feel that there is so much power that can be wielded and then deal with their man. My brother was joking with me some times ago and talking about some people that if anyone has any issue with his wife and then they're about to travel, that the guy should beg the wife, beg, and then get the Jew of the church to also beg and beg, because over there, for some women who probably have had bad experiences, suddenly they may have, instead of enduring with love and then working things out, there is a possibility of being influenced negatively to just scatter the whole thing. And then, so please adjust, understand the culture, try as much as possible to adjust to it, but understand the culture of your home, which should be in line with Christ's culture, and then work it together as a family. Do not let any iota of space, come into that. Another part that may likely shock you is the fact that while you are here, when you ask sex, it is male or female, but over there you are going to meet so many types. You need to understand that, and then as much as possible, you need to let your kids know what you know is right, what the scripture says is right. So there will be culture shock, but yours is to be able to adjust yourself and keep your sanity, and then keep flying the flag of Christ without breaking anybody's law as much as possible. I'm trying to talk pastorally around this issue of culture. God will help you in Jesus' name. We trust that your home will be a right home, and then God will give you comfort.
One thing about that culture is that I'll say you need to sieve. You need to sieve. That's why it's good to have a very good foundation as you're going. It's good that you build your marriage on mutual respect. Mutual respect, loving each other. Because if you don't do that, and there are some bad habits you carry from here to there, it will be so much, it becomes so much, so much exposed, as it were. If, for example, now, people working, as we said, different jobs and all of that, and you still want to be served, maybe as the man now, as the Lord and Master, as you used to be served here, it might not work out. It might not work out, because that's just the truth. It means everybody needs to do things. You need to be on your toes. So, sieve the culture. Take the one that it's biblical, the one that is edifying, and be close to your kids. They will go to school. They will be exposed to several things.
So many.
You need to keep reassuring them. Some might be exposed to racism. You need to keep reassuring them. You need to keep, pumping scriptures to them. You need to keep, helping their self-esteem, because some people, it's when you get out there that you actually realize that you have a black skin. Here, we are all the same. You hardly feel, you don't feel different. You see, no matter your tribe or whatever, we still have the same melanin, whatever. So, but when you are there, you are conscious of the fact that I'm different, and your kid, for all, might be just the only black kid in his or her class, or they are just two. Those are some of you need to be close to them, reassure them. God made you this way. This is who you are. You are no less than anybody, and all of that. So, and also for yourself, also you need to have your own self-esteem. You don't go with it. That's why, I was listening to a man of God. He said that, okay, fine, you are going. They said, but go forth with joy. Go out with joy. Don't leave this country with may we never come up by them, with cursing that, because when you live that way, you are living as a victim. You are living that, there is no more hope for you. You are this new country help my life. So you're already coming as less. I don't know, but so you have to go with that. Okay, God is with your head up high.
Yes.
With your head up high. These are things. Agents. Yes, look at the fact that I'm coming into this place to be a blessing, to add value. Not that I'm coming that help my life. But when you go with that victim attitude, my dear people, you're already failing before you leave. So please, let's readjust our mindset. You are going there, you are going to add value to that society. You are going to be a blessing to that society. You have something in you to offer. And when you go with that attitude, it's easier for you to know that, okay, my culture, I have a culture too. And my culture is not all bad. I might have some things in my culture that I don't like. Yes, I remove it. So that means that I'm not trading my culture for your culture. I'm sieving the one that it's right, and I'm combining it. So you are still able to be yourself and be a nice blend. I hope you understand. So this point actually is very, very serious. So we should trust the Lord to give us wisdom into that. So that has been our show.
Please, we would like to ask you to please help share this link or share this with as many people who are out there who will be blessed by this. By the grace of God, next week we'll be bringing a couple in who
will share their
We'll invite
experience.
them to share their experience, how they are getting it right. And I'm sure you're going to learn
their
from
challenges
them,
and all.
the challenges, the adjustments and all. And God is helping them. You will learn from them. It's going to be a very beautiful time. So thank you once again for joining us.
Yes.
We celebrate you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.
Yes.